for the article, right? So it means that you have to read the whole abstract carefully, and then you have to understand what is the topic that you are going to do the research on if you are the owner of this abstract. Okay, and then you have to find out the what else you have to find out the method or the design of the research in order to put it in as the key element or the compulsory element in the title, right? And you may find out the population or the content after you read the abstract, right? So those are the key element for you to find out in the abstract and to put it into the title. That's right. So now that is the first part of exercise 1, and the second part of exercise 1 is about the different element of the abstract, right? So we have already mentioned 7 elements of the abstract. Right now, anybody, can you tell me again what are the 7 suggested elements? Kiều Nguyễn, please. Okay.
Yes, teacher. 7 suggested elements.
Kiều Nguyễn, hình như em đang mở hai mic hay sao á, cho nên nó bị ồ quá. Nếu như em mở mic bên này thì yeah, it's okay now.
7 element is the brief theme sentence. The second is main aim or purpose. Next is academic practical importance.
Academic or
methodology.
Practical important or one of them.
Yes. For methodology, 5 main finding. 6 the contribution, and the last one is highlight practical.
Highlight the practical or the
managerial implication.
That's right, the one that you can use your finding to apply it in practice, right? In practice or in management. In management or in practice. That's right. Tức là chúng ta cái phần cuối là chúng ta xem thử là cái ứng dụng của chúng ta vào trong cái thực tế như thế nào, hoặc là vào trong việc quản lý như thế nào. Okay, right. So those are the 7 elements in the article, and as in the abstract of the article. And then I mean that you have to, in order to fulfill the second requirement of the exercise 1, you have to read them carefully and then to find out the 7 elements. Of course, you may have as I told you, we have only 3 options or 3 compulsory elements. First, the aim. Second, the methodology, and third, the findings. Okay, so we just have 3 main elements that are obligatory or compulsory, and the others are optional. So it means that you may find, it depends on the different magazines or different journals. So in some aspect you may find totally 7 elements, but some other you just find 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Okay, right. So it depends. Right. So that is about the first exercise, and the second exercise asked to write something more. Right now, here you can see the keywords, right, of the first abstract. But in the following abstract, you see no keywords at all. No keywords at all. Task for you, except for besides the first 2 requirements that are quite similar to the first one, and in the second exercise you are asked to write the 4 or 5 keywords, the one that you have to recognize during your reading. Okay, right. So that is about the exercise that you have to finish when we We know exactly when we make sure, we want to make sure that you know about the way to write the abstract for you. Okay. So talking about the language of writing the article abstract, please have a look at them, right? Please have a look at them and pay attention to the tense. Do you have to write the past tense in order to summarize, or you just write it in the present tense? Tell me about it. Do you think that we have to write the summaries in the past tense, or you just use the simple present tense, or somewhere in the abstract that you have to use the past tense, and somewhere in the abstract you have to use the present tense? Now please read, for example, now read this carefully. Sungui, please.
I think it depends on the contents that we use to summarize the abstract. So we are flexible, use the tense accordingly.
Can you tell me more clearly about that? What situation? You just give me an example.
So, if we're talking about the content, the ideas that happened in the past, or the activities, we collect the data some years ago, or we're collecting the information from the past, happened in the past, so we can use the past tense to describe, to write in. And if we use the implication in the, so we may use the future tense.
Yeah, okay.
This is what I think.
Yeah, thank you. So here you can see the word reports. For example, this article reports, and the word reports is in this present tense, right? And in the second sentence, you can see the study examined. So it tells the readers what you have already done. So that is the reason why you have to use the past tense here, examined, okay? And the participant included. So that's what you did already. You did already. So just use the past tense here. And then many things related to the results of your study can be seen in the past tense at the same time, right? But then we see 3 cases studies illustrate that. And the word illustrate is in simple again, right? And students faced a major challenge. So faced here is in the past tense, because this is in the case experimental cases, or in the experiment that you did in the past, so that you can have the finding that you are reporting in the abstract right now. And that is the reason why you face in the past tense. But the word illustrate here is mean that if I'm the owner of this, the writer of this abstract, I'm writing it to you right now. That is my opinion right now, and that is the reason why I use illustrated in the present tense. But it is still okay for me to use the 3 cases study. In this case, for example, I'm highlighting it. 3 case study illustrate that, and the word illustrate in this case can be used in the past tense. It's still okay for me, because I am reporting something, and the illustration of this study has already happened in the past, and I can use the past tense here. It's still okay. right? Or for example, just have a look at this. This one. And what verb, what tenses do you use here? Chang, please.
For this paragraph, article, it just use the simple present tense.
Yeah, okay. So here we just, you can just see the present tense. With most of them are present tense, like allows, what often divide to prominent political figures. What else? This article analyzes tactile data, and then who come from different ideological background, and that is the result. The finding review, talking about the finding, right? Review, and then influence and power, the progress and influence and power, and right, many other things that's about in the present tense, not in the past tense at all. So how about this one? Yeah, okay. Q, please. Q Nguyễn, please.
Yes, teacher. I think this abstract also use the simple present tense too.
Right. So this abstract is from the linguistic area or teaching area. You mean? You know?
Linguistic area.
Yeah, linguistic areas. That's right. So this is for linguistic students. That's right. And most of the almost all the verbs are used in the present tense rather than the past tense. That's right. Thank you. So my question is related to the linguistic areas or teaching or education area, right? So the second one here is this one, linguistic or teaching. Linguistic or teaching? Thương.
Yes, I think it's linguistic.
Yes, that's correct. Linguistics. So the same here, as you can see, but the linguistic and in the present tense. Present tense. Okay. Now we come to the third one here. Linguistic or the anh Hoàng Oanh or anh Hoàng.
Dạ thưa cô, I think it's in teaching.
Teaching areas, that's right. The teaching areas. So in teaching area where you are asked to do an experiment in order to find out some result. So you may retell the processes of doing the research by using the past tense. The past tense. That's right. Okay, thank you. So that is what you have to remember about the abstract. And now, and some things that I really want you to remember is about the ways of presenting. 7 elements in which we have a 3 obligatory element, right? And then for the tenses, if you just give a description of the finding or the result, especially for the linguistic areas, you can use the present tense, right? But if you retell to the readers what you did during the process of doing the research, kinds of questionnaire, kinds of survey, kinds of experiment, kinds of observation, class observation, anything else in the teaching areas, you may use the past tense to show that is what you did to find out the results of your research. Okay, right. So that is about this morning section. Now we go on with with today's section. Right. So now the other part of what is the other part? What is the next part of the scientific article? Everyone? In the article, when we look at the article, under the title, you can see the abstract, right? And then under the abstract, what can you say? The full article. The full article, right? Under the abstract, you can see the full article. And now the full article can begin with the first part. What is that? Thu Hiền, please.
Introduction.
This is the introduction.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. So as we learned this morning, this is the title, and then the abstract, and then the keywords going with the abstract, right? And then from the introduction to the conclusion, this can be considered as the full article. The full article, right? With the introduction at the first part, and this happened in this kind of order. Okay. Right. So now that is the reason why now we go to the introduction. How to write the introduction in the scientific article. Right. So the first thing I would like you to know is about the word cell in this sentence. How do you understand the word cell? Yeah. Sương, please.
I think cells here means that related to the attraction to the others with the information, with the products that we are going to show them. So here the introduction, if we want to the article, our article is excellent. So we must show that what we are going to tell them in the article must be interesting as well. So
yes, that's correct. Okay, so serious means that get the attention of the readers so that they can spend time reading your article, right? Of course, when you publish something, you really want to have some reader to read. So it means that you are selling your article to some readers. And if they refuse to buy your product, it means that you fail. And if they refuse to buy your product at the beginning of the article, when they just have a quick look at your introduction and they put it down and they say no to your article, it means that they refuse to buy it. So it means that we have to do something. In the introduction, you must, as the writer, you must do something in order to attract the attention of the reader. Okay, right. So that is about the first thing that you have to remember when you talk about the introduction, right? So now we come to the elements of the introduction. The elements of the introduction. I just go from the beginning and the details of each part, right? Remember that we have a 6 element here. Okay, right. right? So the first element of the introduction is to state the broad theme or the topic of the study. So have you ever seen anything related to this information this morning? Where do you think that you have to state the broad theme or the topic of the study? Where? In the title or in the abstract? Now please tell me. Please speak out. Speak out. You don't have to raise your hand. Speak out, please.
In the title.
In the title.
The title is not the broad theme or topic, but the main theme and topic in the title. But how about the broad theme and topic? In the abstract. That's right. The first part of the abstract. The first part of the abstract. So more exactly is what you can say in the broad theme or the topic of the study. Now, first, you have to write the opening paragraph in plain English without using technical jargon. So what does it mean by plain English? What does it mean? Plain English is a simple English or English in a simple way. In a simple way. Yeah. Okay. And technical jargon is mean that some kinds of the special term that can be used specifically for some areas only, right? So at the beginning of the article, please go directly to the theme or the topic, but use the simple language, the simple English, not the technical terms at all. Okay. So the second thing, do not plunge the unprepared reader straight into the problem or the theory, but you have to take time to guide them step by step, or you have to prepare for the reader, right? The reader may be the person who do not know much about the areas that you are studying, but they are interested in knowing about it. So if you are unprepared for the reader, they will stop there because they don't understand what you mean at all at the beginning. So at the beginning, please go slowly, step by step, lead them to the problem, right? And you have to use example to illustrate unfamiliar construct or technical terms. You have to give an explanation or the example at the beginning. So here, that is about the opening paragraph. The opening paragraph, to state the broad theme or the topic of the study. And you have to use the catchy opening statement. Catchy opening statement can be considered as the opening statement without technical jargon, right? Without something theoretically that may cause misunderstanding, right? Or difficulties in understanding. And opening statement, catchy opening statement may have some explanation or the example for the technical terms. Okay, now I'll just give you an example. This can be considered as the wrong opening statement. Why is it wrong? And the second one is the correct, right? The second one is more effective. And why it is more effective? Now, please tell me why. In terms of the thing that I have already mentioned, I have already explained what you have to write in the opening statement, so that it must be catchy to the readers. Okay, now please tell me the reason why the first one is not effective, the second one is better. Tú Linh, please. Tú Linh, please just show your face.
I think that the first one, they use the technical jargon when they use the like vocabulary in specific field that has the name of many scientists, and so that not everyone understands this statement.
Okay, so the what can be considered as the technical jargon in the first one?
So I think that the psychologist neglect of the fact and the name of many scientists, I consider them as the technical jargon.
So actually there is only one word that is a technical jargon, that is a fact. The word a fact here is not used in the verb form at all, but it is used in the noun form. Right, it is used in a noun form, and the meaning of the word affect in a noun form is emotion, right? And not
Sorry, cô hình như
use the word affect as emotion.
Cô ơi, hình như đường truyền bị yếu, em không nghe cô nói gì hết ạ.
Đường truyền á hả? Bây giờ có nghe chưa?
Dạ được rồi, em nghe rồi ạ. Cô giải thích lại cái chủ emotion được không ạ? Em nghe chủ affect là dùng danh từ emotion không ạ?
Chắc là cái đường truyền á. Bây giờ có nghe cô nói được không?
Dạ nghe rồi cô.
Hello. Okay, right. So
Dạ cô giảng lại chút đó.
Right. Okay. So the technical jargon in this one is the word affect. Affect. Right. So the word affect is not used in the daily use at all with the meanings of the emotion. The word affect in this case is the noun, and it is used with the meaning of the word in the similar meaning with the emotion. And then you seldom use the word affect with the meaning of the word emotion at all in your daily conversation. And that is the reason why the word affect here is technical jargon. Cái từ affect này nó không có nghĩa là ảnh hưởng đâu. Nó không phải là động từ ảnh hưởng, mà cái từ affect này nó trong tâm lý học, cái từ affect nó có nghĩa là cảm xúc. Nó có nghĩa là cảm xúc. Và trong thực tế cuộc sống bình thường của chúng ta rất ít sử dụng cái từ affect với nghĩa là cảm xúc, là danh từ, không? Mà ta hay dùng cái từ gì ạ? Emotion, feeling hay là emotion. Đấy. Thế thì tự nhiên vô hình chung cái câu số 1 của chúng ta đây nó dùng từ affect, có nghĩa là đã dùng một cái technical jargon trong ngành tâm lý học, trong lĩnh vực tâm lý học. Thì đó là cái thứ nhất. Cái thứ hai, the second one is about the theory. We immediately put the reader into many different theories stated by different psychologists. Các nhà nghiên cứu về tâm lý học. Đó là Ekman, đó là Izzard, đó là Tompkins, đó là Zajon, vân vân. Như vậy chúng ta đang một cách ngay lập tức là chúng ta đưa độc giả vào trong cái gì đó thuộc về lĩnh vực lý thuyết nhiều quá, lý thuyết về tâm lý học nhiều quá ngay từ câu đầu tiên, và làm cho người ta cảm giác mệt mỏi ngay lập tức, không hiểu và mệt mỏi ngay lập tức. Okay, that is the reason why it is not a catchy opening sentence at all. And then we have to use the second way. Chúng ta sẽ phải dùng cách thứ hai. Cách thứ hai nó cũng giống nội dung y như cách thứ nhất, nhưng nó gần với ngôn ngữ đời thường hơn. Nó gần với ngôn ngữ đời thường hơn. Và nó gần hơn với ngôn ngữ đời thường ở chỗ nào? Ở chỗ là người ta thấy được nó không phải mang tính chất học thuật lắm, nó không phải mang tính chất về tâm lý học lắm, nó chỉ là gì thôi, willing and are able to express their emotion. Their emotion rất là gần gũi. Thì cái này người ta gọi nó là plain English, ngôn ngữ đời thường, tiếng Anh đơn giản hay là ngôn ngữ đời thường. Như vậy thì vào trong cái phần Introduction thì đầu tiên chúng ta phải lưu ý, đây là introduction, nó giống như phần mở bài. Đây là phần đầu tiên nhất mà chúng ta sẽ viết cái bài báo của chúng ta, cũng như đây sẽ là phần đầu tiên nhất các em sẽ phải viết trong cái thesis của mình, Đấy à? Và như vậy thì cái câu đầu tiên hay gọi cái opening paragraph của chúng ta để chúng ta thể hiện cái theme mà chúng ta đang phát triển á, cái theme á, cái chủ đề á, của bài báo á, thì chúng ta nên dùng các ngôn ngữ đời thường, thì chúng ta không vội vàng sử dụng lý thuyết ở trong đó. Okay, right. So that is about the first thing that you have to remember. And then, okay, we return to the second element. That is about the first element, broad theme and topic of the study. Actually, when you write an introduction, you have to use one paragraph to introduce the theme or the topic of the study. But if you are asked to write the thesis, the one that you have to finish in the future, maybe more than one paragraph you have to write in order to introduce the theme or the topic. Maybe 4 or 6 or 7 paragraphs in order to introduce the theme or the topic of the study. Remember, right? So in the article, you just use only one paragraph, but in the thesis or the dissertation, you may use more than one paragraph to introduce the theme or the topic, right? So that you can make the reader understand what theme or what topic of your research carefully, right? Right. So the second one, you have to explain the academic or the practical importance of the study. Now, where else have you ever seen this part? In the title or in the abstract? Speak it loudly. You don't have to raise your hand at all. Where else? In the abstract, that's right. In the abstract, you also mention the academic or practical importance, and in the introduction, you have to use it. Why in the abstract? Just because the abstract is a summary, and in the summary of your study, you have to use some summary, some information that you have already written in your article. That is the reason why. Okay, right now we come to the details of this part, practical importance. How can you expand the academic and practical importance of the study? How can you do that? First, for the academic importance, you have to refer to the lack of previous academic research on the topic, or by highlighting important gaps, inconsistencies, controversies in the academic literature. So how can you do this? Làm sao chúng ta có thể chỉ ra được cái sự thiếu nghiên cứu trong lĩnh vực này bằng cách chỉ ra những cái lỗ hổng quan trọng, hoặc là những cái không đồng nhất quan trọng, hoặc là những cái sự tranh cãi quan trọng trong cái lịch sử nghiên cứu vấn đề này. Làm thế nào ta làm được điều đó? How can we do it? By giving the summary of the literature review, the summaries of the literature review, in order to show the reader what areas have already been studied by the previous studies, and then what hasn't been studied, and what hasn't been studied here can be considered as the gap that your study is expected to fill. Right? So that is about the important gap. Or you have to summarize some studies about the point about the topic that you are doing the research on, and then you have to point out the inconsistency among the studies here. For example, the education or the methodologist, right? Methodologist tức là nhà nghiên cứu phương pháp học á, right? The teaching methodologist A may think of the problem B, and the methodologist B may think of the method, the result or the study, the finding C, for example. It means that they do the same. They do the same study on the same topic, but then the finding or the results of their study may be different, and they are inconsistent in their finding at all. And your study is to solve the problem of inconsistency here, right? So that is about the inconsistency and the controversy. It means that the researcher A is in the opposite way with the researcher B, even though they are doing on the same topic. But the finding or the result, their finding and their result may be of controversial issue. And then your study is to show the controversy raised by the two researchers A and B. Right? Cô sẽ nói lại cái điều này một chút xíu, là cái phần thứ nhất của introduction là ta nói về, ta giới thiệu, ta giới thiệu cái topic của chúng ta, ta giới thiệu cái chủ đề nghiên cứu của chúng ta. Cái phần thứ hai là ta sẽ làm cái điều này đây, ta giải thích cái tầm quan trọng của cái nghiên cứu của chúng ta bằng cách là ta review lại một số các công trình nghiên cứu cũng cùng về lĩnh vực này, nhưng họ có một cái khoảng trống chưa đề cập đến và chúng ta sẽ là người đề cập đến. Hoặc là chúng ta review lại một số các công trình nghiên cứu, nhưng những công trình nghiên cứu này nó không đồng nhất nhau, có thể là về phương pháp, có thể là về kết quả tìm ra, và nhiệm vụ của chúng ta là làm sao để giải thích được cái sự không đồng nhất đó. Đó gọi là inconsistency. Okay. Hoặc là các công trình nghiên cứu cùng đề tài với chúng ta đó, nó lại trái ngược nhau và nó gây ra nhiều tranh cãi, và nhiệm vụ của chúng ta là chúng ta có thể lý giải cái sự trái nghịch hoặc là cái lý do tại sao mà nó lại gây tranh cãi đó. Ok. Tóm lại kiểu gì đi nữa thì từ cái việc mà review lại những công trình nghiên cứu trước, previous academic research, đúng không, mà có cùng đề tài với chúng ta sẽ chỉ ra được là thiếu các công trình nghiên cứu mà giải quyết các vấn đề như là cái gaps, như là inconsistency hay là controversy, và cái công trình của chúng ta sẽ là cái công trình mà rơi vào một trong ba yếu tố này, hoặc là fill the gap, hoặc là solve the consistency, hoặc là solve the controversy. Nha, một trong ba điều này. Mà cái điều này tí nữa thì cô sẽ nói sâu hơn nữa vào cái phần ví dụ của chúng ta, vào phần phân tích của chúng ta. Okay, right. So that is about the academic importance of your research. And now the second one is a practical importance. Practical importance. So do the same for this, but in the practice, trong thực tế, right? Referring to a specific management question, problem, highlight that in industry publication, or by quoting appropriate industry statistics to illustrate its practical importance. Okay, what do I mean by the industry publication or industry statistics? Okay, so here we talk about the problems in the practice. Chúng ta nói về một cái vấn đề gì đó trong thực tiễn. Ví dụ như cái thực tiễn này, chúng ta thấy là nó nảy sinh ra có một vấn đề gì đó trong thực tiễn mà bài của chúng ta cần phải giải quyết. Ví dụ là việc tại sao sinh viên học 12 năm tiếng Anh mà vẫn không thể nói được tiếng Anh tốt. Nó có thể hiểu về ngữ pháp tốt, nó có thể là viết tốt, nó có thể là đọc tốt, nhưng mà tại sao nói không được tốt, là cái thứ nhất. Hoặc là một đề tài khác, tại sao sinh viên Việt Nam, tại sao học sinh cấp 3 ở Việt Nam, học sinh Việt Nam đó, ở cấp 3 đi thi IELTS thì điểm đọc và nghe bao giờ cũng cao, mà điểm nói về điểm viết bao giờ cũng thấp. Như vậy nó có một cái problem ở trong thực tế, nó có một cái question ở trong thực tế. Và cái thực tế đó thông qua con số thống kê của chúng ta, một con số thống kê về lĩnh vực này, industry là thuộc về lĩnh vực đó các em ạ, con số thống kê về cái lĩnh vực này một cách hợp lý, để từ đó chúng ta thấy được cái tầm quan trọng của cái việc chúng ta nghiên cứu. về cái đề tài là những nhân tố hoặc là những vấn đề, những nhân tố ảnh hưởng lên cái kết quả IELTS của học sinh Việt Nam. Okay, right. So that is about the practical, academic and practical importance of the study. Now just have a look at this. Chúng ta cùng nhìn. Oh, sorry. Okay, this one. Chúng ta cùng nhìn vào cái bài đọc này. Đây là một cái ví dụ mà thể hiện về practical và academic importance. Okay. Chúng ta có 5 phút đọc và cho cô biết how can the writer express the practical importance and how can the writer express the academic importance. 5 minutes of reading. Okay, I'm showing it my last chill one. Okay, now please tell me in what way can the writer show the practical importance and for his study and the academic importance for his study at the same time? Hiền, please.
Yes, so first, concerning the practical importance, the writer showed an example about the reality that over $100 billion is spent on gifts. Yeah, he showed the necessity of purchasing gifts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
okay.
About the academic importance, he showed some researches, some studies. Yeah, but he said that they do not pay attention to the reason why gifts are chosen. So he will cited this one in his study to fill the gap that other studies didn't mention.
So from this, what topic do you think will be the main topic or the main theme of his study?
I think the topics here is the use of brand associations for a gift.
Okay, so the use of brand association for a gift, and also why gifts are chosen. The reason why gifts are chosen at the same time, because here's the use of brand association for a gift is something that is still not studied enough. And he is going to fill in the gap here. That's right. Okay, thank you. That's correct. So as for the practical importance here, you can see that the writer state the realities to show the importance of understanding gift-giving behavior as an important issue. That's right. So that is about the important and the importance in reality. And also see he used the industry statistic like over $1 billion, right? Over $1 billion. That is a kind of the number of the statistic. Now, how about the second one for academic importance here, right? He has to, the writer, right, has to list out or review many different previous studies, on different topic related to his topic. That's right. For example, for the first one, what's the topic for the first one? Value of the gift purchase. Right. So that is the first one. Okay. And the second one, this one, for whom gifts are purchased. And then in the third one, why gifts are purchased. That's right. And then so many studies are on the value of gift purchase, like Bach, Gardner. So many studies have already done on for whom gifts are purchased, like Hiller, Comter, Rarost, Honors, Series, Sprott, etc. Okay, and many other studies have already been done on why gifts are purchased, right? Like this one. Little attention has been given to reason why gifts are chosen. So he means that reason why gifts are chosen is still a lack. Still a lack of previous research. And the other one is the use of brand association for a gift. And so when you, as the reader, read this, you may understand directly and immediately that the writer is going to lead you to the topic that he is going to do. That is either the reason why gifts are chosen, or the use of brand association for gift, or both of them. That's right. That's right. So that is about the second element. Như vậy chúng ta đã học được cái cách viết opening paragraph cho cái phần introduction. Chúng ta đã học được cách viết cho cái đoạn văn thứ hai, nói về các cái importance in practice and important in theory. Cách viết, và cái này nó áp dụng cho cả hai chuyên ngành của chúng ta là ngành teaching, English teaching và ngành English language đều như nhau. Okay. Right, we go on with the other part. Right, so now we come to the third element. Summarize the available literature and cite the most important previous study that are relevant to the current research. Okay. Thì sau khi chúng ta đưa ra một số các cái gaps để mà chúng ta dẫn dắt người đọc đến cái topic mà nhiệm vụ của chúng ta là fill in the gap của, thứ nhất là tầm quan trọng trong thực tế, và thứ hai là fill in the gap ở trong các công trình nghiên cứu. Trước đây đến giờ chưa có công trình nghiên cứu nào như công trình nghiên cứu của chúng ta, và nhiệm vụ chúng ta là fill in the gap, hoặc là gì, show the consistency, inconsistency, hoặc là show the controversy. Thì bây giờ sau cái phần đó rồi thì chúng ta đến một cái đoạn thứ ba trong introduction, là đoạn này có thể được viết thành nhiều, 2 hoặc là 3 đoạn đều được hết, 1, 2 hoặc là 3 đoạn đều được hết, để chúng ta thể hiện cái available literature hoặc là cite the most important previous study. Lúc này nó sẽ gần giống với cái literature review mà các em đã học. Các em đã học với thầy Lập á, một số các cái nhóm mà liên quan đến teaching English á, nha, thì các em đã học với thầy Lập về literature review, đúng không? Thì ở đây nó chỉ là một cái summary of literature review, chứ nó không phải là toàn bộ literature review, mà nó chỉ là summaries of literature review. The summaries of the most important previous study that are relevant to the current research. to show the reader what has already been done and what you are going to do. And what has already been done here can be considered as the background, the theoretical background for you to base on and then to develop your research. Okay, that is very important too. And what do we have to write in this part? It must be concisely. Why is it concise? Because it is a brief summary. It's not the real literature review at all. In the literature review part, you will learn how to write the full literature review. But now it is a summary that you can see the summaries of the literature review in the first part of your article only. So this can be done in one paragraph or two paragraphs only. And that is the reason why it must be concise. It must be concise, it must be written concisely, brief and correct. Okay. And full enough. That's right. And it must be, the information here must be directly relevant to your own research and must focus on the study conducted in the recent years. For example, the last 3 to 5 years. And this is the problem for us where we are when we have to live in Vietnam and we don't have the electronic library in order to access the latest publication from the other researchers at all. So most of you have to refer to some studies that are long time ago, that were published long time ago, and then it reduced the reliability and validity of your research. Nếu như các em không có thể tìm được những 3 hoặc là 5 năm cho một article, nhớ cái này là cho article các em nhé. Tức là trong một cái article á, thì để nó thể hiện cái article thì nó publish hàng tháng mà một cái journal, một cái tạp chí chuyên ngành thì thường người ta sẽ ra hàng tháng hoặc là người ta ra hàng quý, có nghĩa là 4 đợt, 4 lần ấn bản 1 năm, hoặc là cứ 3 tháng một hoặc là 3 lần 4 tháng 1 vân vân. Nó là tùy về cái độ fame, tức là cái độ nổi tiếng của cái journal đó là cái thứ nhất. Cái thứ hai là tùy về cái mức độ quan trọng của cái journal đó là cái thứ hai. Và thứ ba là tùy vào cái index, cái ranking index của cái tạp chí đó mà người ta sẽ xuất bản định kỳ là hàng tháng hay là hàng 2 tháng 1 hay là 3 tháng 1 tùy. Thế nhá. Và điều đó nó thể hiện được rằng là một cái bài báo của chúng ta khi xuất bản thì nó luôn luôn là cái mới nhất. Và nếu các em trích dẫn, đây là nói về cái trích dẫn mà của các nghiên cứu trước các em á, mà rất là long time ago, ví dụ như là 10 năm, 20 năm, 30 năm, thậm chí có nhiều em còn trích dẫn từ năm 1974 chẳng hạn như vậy, cả một thế kỷ, gần một thế kỷ rồi đó. Các em vẫn lôi ra các em trích dẫn mặc dù các em không đọc được cái tài liệu gốc, mà các em chỉ đọc qua rất nhiều các nguồn tài liệu second hand, third hand, fourth hand và medium hand luôn rồi đó. Nha, thì các em trích dẫn ra. Thế thì nó sẽ dẫn cái độ tin cậy của cái bài báo của các em nó không còn nữa. Bởi vì người ta update liên tục mà. Bây giờ em còn lôi những cái ông mà từ năm 70, từ năm 90, từ năm 2000 ra, phải ra các em chắc chắn là không phải là cái người cái study của em không phải là cái study mà nó bắt kịp cái thời đại. So it is not catchy in this case. That's right. And that is the reason why we just focus on 3 or 5 years. Right, till the times of your publication, and it is acceptable for that. But if you have more than 3 or 5 years,